My father was a brilliant businessman, but he had a terrible taste in women. He married Linda 5 years ago. From day one, Linda made it clear she didn't like me. She was the classic evil stepmother, fake smiles in front of Dad, cold glares when he wasn't looking. When my father got sick last year, Linda took over everything. She controlled his schedule, his diet, and even who could visit him. She tried to block me from seeing him, claiming he was too tired. I knew she was isolating him. Last week, my father passed away. I was devastated, but I didn't even get time to grieve. I came home from the hospital to find my key wouldn't turn in the front door lock. The door opened and Linda was standing there with a smug look on her face. Behind her were 3 large garbage bags. "These are your clothes," she said, kicking the bags down the steps. "You don't live here anymore. The house is mine. The company is mine. Your father left everything to me." I was in shock. I asked about the will. "He signed a new one last month." She smirked. "You get nothing. Now get off my property before I call the police for trespassing." She thought that was the end of it. She thought I would just cry and leave. But Linda made a fatal mistake. She didn't know about the floor safe. About 6 months ago, during one of the rare times Linda was out shopping, my dad called me into his home office. He looked worried. He pulled up a rug in the corner, revealing a safe buried in the floor. He handed me a heavy brass key. "Son," he whispered, "if anything happens to me, open this. Do not let Linda know it exists." So, when Linda kicked me out, I didn't argue. I picked up my trash bags and left. I went straight to a hotel and called my dad's corporate lawyer, Mr. Sterling, who had been Dad's friend for 30 years. I told him about the safe. 2 days later, we convened for the official reading of the will at Mr. Sterling's office. Linda walked in wearing a designer black dress that probably cost more than my car. She looked like she was attending a fashion show, not a funeral. She threw a document on the table. "Here it is," she said. "The will, signed and notarized. Everything goes to his loving wife." Merp Sterling looked at the paper. It looked legit. Linda was grinning at me. "Sorry, sweetie. Maybe you can get a job at the company as a janitor." I stayed silent. I reached into my pocket and pulled out the brass key. "Actually," I said, "we need to check one more thing." I placed a heavy metal box on the table, the box from the floor safe. I had retrieved it the night before Dad died, just in case. Inside, there were 2 things. First, a videotape. We played it. It was my father. He looked into the camera and said, "I am recording this because I fear my wife, Linda, is forging documents. Any will signed after January 1st is invalid. I am leaving 100% of my assets, my home, and my company to my son." Linda's face went pale. She started stammering. That's fake. He was senile." "And there is one more thing," I said. I pulled out a thick stack of financial records from the box. Dad had been suspicious for a year. He hired a private forensic accountant. "These are the records. Linda, they prove you've been siphoning money from the company accounts into an offshore shell corporation. Over $2 million. Mr. Sterling looked at the documents. Then he looked at Linda. "This is embezzlement," he said, "and fraud." Linda stood up to run, but she didn't get far. Mr. Sterling had already called the authorities. 2 officers were waiting in the lobby. They arrested her right there in the conference room. It's been a week. The will she produced turned out to be a forgery. She had traced Dad's signature. Because of the video evidence and the fraud, the judge granted me immediate control of the estate. I moved back into the house yesterday. The first thing I did was change the locks. Linda is currently being held without bail because she is considered a flight risk. With that offshore money, she wanted to leave me with nothing. Instead, she lost her freedom, and I got the last laugh.